Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of the SCS Season 5 qualifier. I'm Crow, and this direction, and right here to my left, well, my left, your right, I've got Jay's Wills. This is my bowl of tortellini, and goddamn, Jonah, I am excited. This is our first time casting, so this will hopefully go well. But I
Yeah.
have I have faith in your ability. So, are you
Well,
excited?
thank you.
I'm excited.
I am super excited. I am super excited to get going. I think we've got some great matchups today. Obviously, we only know the first one. We're going to start out with the
Mm.
Swiss style format. Really going to play it by ear as we go down the line. But honestly, yesterday was really fun to watch. I wasn't casting. I just put it on in the background, and it was great. Great way to kick things off. And I'm really excited to see, what kind of SCS Season 5 talent we are going to be able to showcase here on our broadcast and on our community broadcast as well throughout tonight and throughout tomorrow, the remaining days of this first open qualifier. Not only are we hosting games on this main broadcast, but you can check out our community partners as well, SFCL and 9Ball Esports, both of which are putting on some games if you want to bounce around maybe, and if a team that you're looking for is not being showcased. But Crow, today, at least game number one, we've got an interesting one on our hands here.
Yeah, Team Versity, the last time I casted the bananas was November? December of last year? So it's been quite a while, and they've gone through quite a few roster changes. They no longer have Indy, they don't have Tater, now they actually have Maniac and Beezer, as well as Wi-Fi. They also don't have... Oh, shoot. There's someone else, and I can't remember him, and I'm going to feel really awful when I remember them later. And they're because your waifu is trash. Now, your waifu is trash. If you don't know who that is, they were once known as Akara, and they have two SCS superstars with them. They have, well, not only do they have Khalida, but they also have the Burnt Turkey himself. So this should be a pretty good game.
Yeah, basically Team Burnt Turkey, we'll probably call him throughout the night because SCS star gotta highlight his presence. But I also think we should highlight some of the other teams we've got here in the quals. Maybe we'll get a chance to see him down the line. You've got a team that everyone's been paying attention to is Matt Squared. You've got several other undefeated teams, though. Matt Squared is not one of them. Synthetic Esports is there. Honor Esports is there. Lulz, Didn't Ask, Project Neo. All of these teams undefeated and looking to continue their undefeated streak going into day number 2. But it's a Swiss format, so it only gets harder as you go down the line. But Crow, we're going to head right on in to our first game. We're going into our ban phase. We're going to take a look exactly how Cafe is going to shake out.
And of course, it being Cafe, band number 1 is going to be Thatcher. Well, Wi-Fi is going to say we're getting ready for a surprise, so what is it? Hibana, Ace, Maverick, Ash! That's not something you see all the time, especially not on Cafe, and I wonder if that was a counterban to Exum. Yep, yeah, alright, thank you, Wi-Fi, for confirming my suspicion. First defensive ban probably going to be something very standard. No, it's actually Mozzie! I can't remember the last time I've seen a Mozzie ban.
Yeah, the Mozzie ban, it's usually always a target ban. I'm assuming it's very similar to the Ash ban in that very sense. You've got the Mira ban to round things out, so nothing really crazy on that front. But seeing the Ash and the Mozzie off the board on a map like Cafe is a bit unusual, but it's always fun to see the shenanigans come on out and the mind games from starting off really early on. And we're going to see nothing too crazy with these lineups, it seems. We're going to head to Kitchen and Service, Kitchen and Cooking as our first bomb site. And, well, it's, we got the Twitch coming out from Blonde, which is always fun to see using competitive Siege, because it's not one of those operators that really shines as much. The addition of those flashbangs, I suppose, has given the Twitch that viability that she lacked in that last utility consumption simulator meta. So seeing that brought out by the bananas here, that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, Twitch is, she's being brought a little bit more often, like you said, with the change of the meta, plus her recent, what a lot of people consider buff, giving her flashes. giving her stun. So now she's got burn in addition to being able to take out stuff like Mira windows. Now that Mira is becoming a lot more prevalent because banning, thank God, is starting to become a little bit more spread out between operators. She can take out Evil Eyes. She can temporarily disable any of the Melusi Banshees, which is oh so useful, especially when Exum is bringing those. So already we can see Team Burnt Turkey opting for a slightly more aggressive hold. This is something that a lot of teams do. One of the most notable ones being Aerial Arise. Love to do a second floor roam with sometimes an extension upstairs on the kitchen bomb site. They work to try and hold onto the middle floor as long as possible, and usually it's the mute, which it seems like Wubbs is going to be playing. Usually it's on Aerial Arise, at least I know it to be Whitlock, and he always gets a kill from reading. As long as that mute can hold into reading, it's impossible for these attackers to be comfortable pushing into places like mining, train, dining, anywhere that they can get that vertical pressure down. But already it seems like they're not going to be pressuring this roam. They're just going to try and take from Bakery.
It's so hard to find the balance on the attack because going for that top-down clear, like you said, you can walk right into some waiting defenders, happily awaiting to take you on down. But the same thing goes for a more direct push. Exactly what we're seeing now from Versity. If you go straight on into Bakery, you're going to ignore the top-down pressure that's being applied by the defense. And in this case, you've got a Vigil watching the prep door. You've probably got somebody with vertical holes on the big wall running as well. So you're not going to be able to get a free site take. I mean, I guess if you get crazy aggressive and really storm on in there and actually surpass Doc and Call here who are holding this down, then maybe it could work out. But it's hard to find the balance between that aggression and also dealing with the potential danger that those top floor roamers actually provide, even on those aggressive takes.
Jixie. That's the third member of Versity who's not here that I just remembered. Jixie, if you're watching, I am terribly sorry for not remembering your name until now. But Maniac, player on Sledge, what Jixie would normally play, is trying to challenge Doc inside mining. Trade a little bit of damage. It's just kind of chip damage at this point. Not too much to worry about. But now because it's a Bakery push, the thing is, I mean, you can ignore the reading side of the roam, but a Bakery push really benefits from you being able to get that vertical construction down with your sledge, open up those holes up over the floor, and flush out those important anchor positions. The first kill will go the way of Team Burnt Turkey as Doc, that player inside of mining, takes out the sledge outside the window. That is a huge pick for the defense. Now the smoke, the mute with all their anti-plant utility can sit safe and just wait for the attackers to push in without the fear of the ceiling falling around their heads. Exum is over by Carpet. He's on the red stairs. His Blonde through the floor is actually able to fell Cal. So no more Vigil. And Wi-Fi is sitting and waiting for Exum to push out Carpet so he can get that flank watch kill. But he's too slow. Blonde will be downed all the way from that long angle inside of prep. He might be recoverable unless a toxic gas canister finishes him off, but the Nomad loses out on her swing. Plant is going down from True, but he's doing it inside a gas canister. Only time will tell if he gets it down, and no, he planted too late. The gas canister was in time. It'll just be swung on and finished by Burnt Turkey. It's a hot drop from Breezer. Pistol out, and it can't do anything. Burnt Turkey finishes things off, and they take round number 1.
Pretty clean defense there. There wasn't much in the way of an attack there from Versity that made it seem that they would all of a sudden be able to work with a 20-second execute. I mean, their strategy seemingly was bunch up in Bakery, allow your sledge to maybe get a pick or two, or hopefully at least distract the players in mining and in train, but well, it worked out the opposite way. Doc was able to take down Maniac on that hold, and from there really wasn't much Versity could do. It was a full Bakery stack. You had one player rotate around to the reception side, but the player on red stairs, because the vertical was not established, at least in the attacker's control, it was simply an easy defense there for Burnt Turkey, and for the rest of that team, they just simply waited it out, and Versity was happy to just walk into their open arms at the end of the day. The time got the better of them, and that's what happens if you get stalled out on that Bakery take. If you're going to devote so much manpower to kind of just sitting around and hoping some frags go your way while only 2 players are actually working to get that checklist done, it's not much of a surprise that didn't work out too well for Versity there, but they're going to get their chance to change things up. We're going to head over to our top floor bomb site for round number 2.
Here's something weird. a Frost, an operator who's sort of shoved herself into the meta thanks to not only having access to a deployable shield, but also that important secondary shotgun as well. So now you don't necessarily need a smoke or a mute for every single bomb site. You can substitute it if you don't think you need the drone denial or the delay power of the smoke. Substitute it for a Frost, put those traps down. Now, sure, the traps don't have a 100% success rate, of course. Sometimes they just kind of get droned out and shot and they don't really do anything, but the shield is probably the most important thing. Now, that is an absolutely brilliant pre-fire by True. Doc just gets his head ripped off from the other side of the barricade, and unfortunately, that is just bad timing for the Jaeger. There's really, that's just not his fault. There's really nothing you can do to counter it. It's just True knew where he was or had a really good pre-fire.
Yeah, the big pick is going to take out Doc for the round and remove the 416 from play. I'm sure that Burnt Turkey feel the repercussions of that down the line. Of course, this attack, which is going to be building from this piano side. You've got the red wall, which has not been reinforced. That's going to allow Beezer to just open it right on up and get that pressure immediately established from the piano side. And really from there, they've got to go through their methodical clear. Their checklist needs to get completed, and that's going to involve pushing out that pixel player and that bathroom player. Burnt Turkey's been forced to fall off, back off towards Plank. Support, remaining support at least on that contest station. That's going to be Wubs playing that Frost in the freezer. But now about 90 seconds are all that remains for the attack to get this pressure going. And with Wubs cutting down Maniac, that's going to stall things out even more.
That's an important set of frag grenades gone. Now, luckily for them, the bar wall is hard, so they didn't need the sledge to open that up. Instead, it might be the Maverick's duty, as he is the only hard breacher. But like I said, that's a pair of nades off the board. That's potentially a clear of the shield, clearing maybe even castle barricades, because, you know, it was Sledge who went down, clearing any of the Malusi Banshees, that you're no longer going to have. So you're going to rely a lot more now on True and Beezer with 3 more explosives with which to clear. Things have kind of stalled out after that initial trade. They'll drone and they'll spot one player on the white stairs, sort of mid-landing, another one over by pallets, and they know that Wubs is still sitting behind the shield inside a freezer. That was an unfortunate push by Beezer as he just kind of walks in, ignoring the shield. Wi-Fi's also been down. It's a 4 versus 2. It's just True and Blonde, the only 2 original members of this squad left to clutch up, but Wi-Fi will be successfully revived. So 1 man back in their column, but they're still at a deficit. Long angle actually doesn't work out for Cal. I really thought he was going to get that kill, but Blonde was able to get the quick reaction, but he'll be down on the floor and traded out by Burnt Turkey. There's the refrag. The freezer player goes down. We are even now at 2 apiece, but Wi-Fi is extremely low, and it's up to him to cover. That's an interesting angle by Burnt Turkey, able to just tap the crouch key to keep himself centered. But as Exum 3 takes freezer, he swings the planter, he swings the cover. Team Burnt Turkey take round number 2.
Another round that went back and forth, but even from that early kill, even that Burnt Turkey were down a man very early on. They lost Doc. The Jaeger was gone. It simply did not matter. They remained very stalwart in their positions. And once again, Versity struggled to really get the attacking momentum going. It was another case of get in the building and sit around for a while. And it didn't work out again, which really isn't much of a surprise. Of course, Exum getting the double kill in the round at the very end was big, but the fact that Versity took so much time before making that execute, and then the execute started by Beezer just walking in to the bar door all on his own, ignoring the
weird.
yeah, something was off there. I'm a bit surprised that we're seeing a couple of these mistakes come out here from Versity. It's not what you'd expect from a roster like this, but right now, seems that Team Burnt Turkey may have their number. 2 pretty clean defensive rounds, and going into this tertiary bomb site, another one that can really get you in terms of the time waste, something that Versity are struggling to overcome. We're gonna have to see how they manage to fix some of those mistakes in round number 3.
Good reminder as well to everyone watching that Versity and Burnt Turkey are both lossless. They're currently 3-0, going flawless in the first day. Remember, it is only the top 10 teams that are able to make it to the closed qualifier. Right now we have 9 teams who have 3 straight wins and no losses. 2 of them being the teams you see here, along with Didn't Ask, Project Neo, Synthetic, Lulz, Some to Prove, Honor Esports, and Revenge Nation. If you want to see the plethora of teams tied for 10th place, you can go ahead in chat and hit exclamation point bracket to get all of those. I think right now, I'm not sure if they're leading by round differential, but it might be Survey Core, or it might be off head-to-head. I don't know. Either way, they're listed on the tournament as 10th place. I don't know how accurate that is, or if we'll have to go through that and check it again. But either way, Team Burnt Turkey, they are 1 round away from taking a perfect site rotation and 3-0ing already on their defense. If you get that 3rd round, with the way Cafe typically plays out nowadays, even halves aren't so strange. As soon as you get that 3rd round, you can pretty much come away happy with it. Sure, a 4-2 split on the defense is what you want, but a 3-3 isn't nearly the death sentence that it used to be.
Well, we're really gonna see how we could expect that to unfold. This tertiary bomb site's gonna give us that first indicator. How many rounds? Wow. Oh gosh, Doc. He's gonna take down Blonde. That's a big pick. Kala is gonna take down Beezer as well. And again, Versity, they are floundering here in round number 3. I was gonna say that unless they find this tertiary bomb site success, this attacking team, Versity here, things are not looking good for them at all. You need to find a couple of kills here or there, and Wi-Fi is going to kick things off for Versity. Finally, removing the Jaeger, but if round 2 taught us anything, it's that you don't need Doc to win the game, but maybe you need Exo. Wi-Fi going to get the double kill on the round, cutting down the Malusi now. It's going to be a 3v3. You cross that 60-second mark, but you still have Cal to worry about. He's actually advanced into Piano, gone for a little bit of a retake here, and you can see True is a bit wary that there could be that positioning, at least nervous that there could be a player on that Piano side, and he would not be mistaken. Wi-Fi gonna repel on in to begin the vertical pressure, but without your Zofia, that's gonna be made a bit easier. Thankfully, you've got Maniac. He's got the breaching hammer, looking to establish those lines of sight onto Reading Room and hope to maybe catch a couple of anchors off guard before the eventual execute.
And speaking of, this is actually the first time we'll be able to see Maniac use his utility, as he's kind of been the first pick in both rounds prior. Now, you can see by the way that Versity are playing, and with Wi-Fi picking up that drone, I don't think they know that Cal is still up there, but that's not going to abate them. They're just going to go in and try and push. Wi-Fi's been down. There's the refrag from Maniac. Burnt Turkey finds another. Now it's just True and Maniac. They're planting as Cal has to clutch up the 1v2, and as he turns the corner, Maniac is there with the perfect cover, walking into sight and getting, I believe, the final 3 for Maniac.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when he's not first picked in the round.
Yeah, Maniac making it happen in Versity. Even though it didn't look too good early on, they will pull out round number 3. Maybe that's the turning point they needed, or at the very least, it is the minimum tertiary bomb site win that would carry them to a possible 4-2 split if they can't find success elsewhere. But that time, they solved a little bit of their problems. They decided to get a lot more aggressive in clearing out the top floor hold. I mean, it was a little bit late for that because 2 players had already been killed. But even in the 3v5, the remaining Versity players did a great job of not really getting too flustered and getting too just disjointed. They grouped up. They took that cocktail control. They took down Doc and Exum. And even though Call was allowed to rotate all the way around to Piano, the attack from Versity, they just decided to go for the execute, and the Wamai really couldn't make his impact felt simply because he was too far off of the site. And I guess you can't stop Maniac for going on that 3-kill tear if you're not going to be on the site to stop it yourself. So Versity making it happen in round number 3. Looking forward to seeing how they change up their kitchen attack as well.
Yeah, their kitchen attack last time, like we discussed earlier, was them ignoring the roam, opening bakery wall, and then trying to funnel through prep. And it didn't really work out too well. They are bringing pretty much the same operators with one exception. Now, instead of the Twitch, which, I mean, Blonde has been able to get 2 frags off of it, but otherwise I feel like with the utility, the Twitch hasn't really done much. We'll bring the Jackal, and that's kind of, at least to me, choreographing that they will attempt to clear out this roam, or at least if they just want to take into mining, do it a little bit more efficiently, with Maniac not just having to completely guess where those players are. But no, it looks like the attackers are going to go for a full top-down clear. Not only do they have the drones, but they have the feet scanner of the Jackal. He'll find one. He'll spot out the Jaeger of Docks. He was playing over towards mining to stop the sledge last time. It looks as if he's playing in a similar position. He's also got Exum to help over by pillars. As one of the doorways gets open, he'll retreat back into reading. Doc is actually upstairs. He's inside of laundry. Of course, he has the hatch, so he's got a pretty easy fallback strategy. But I'm happy that Versity have opted to clear this roam this time.
Yeah, this is great to see. It's good to see this adaptation in the minds of Versity at work here. Definitely they struggled with the very top floor pressure, at least that second floor pressure that we talked about in the very first attacking round, and they're hoping to conquer that now by pushing out Doc. Blonde has got to be careful here, though. He's alone on the white stairs and could be walking into a potential crossfire. Cal, though, will fall off that angle, and Doc and Exum will rotate around. Exum may go back up to that second floor to assist, but that extension is not going to be as much of a factor. Exum cutting down Wi-Fi, the solo swing from the Nomad, and that is going to be another big pick to give Team Burnt Turkey the edge here. Not what Versity wanted to do. Blonde's going to spot Cal, take him down. That's going to neutralize the man count now at a 4v4, and with Exum rotating back onto site, the vertical pressure can now begin. Maniac going to look for those angles using the breaching hammer well, and now with Beezer still on the board, he'll be able to assist in that pressure as well. But they have to do more than just look down from above. They have to pick a side they want to execute from. And with Burnt Turkey taken off the board, the frag grenade from Maniac finding its target true, that's going to be the smoke off the board and the plant denial removed.
Yeah, that is another massive pick, especially with the time winding down, but completely unaware that Wubs has pushed over towards Whiskey. Bond will go down. Now, the Jackal, luckily enough, has done his job. It's not as important of a pick as, let's say, the Maverick or the Sledge or the Zofia. Speaking of the Maverick, here he comes trying to get the refrag, cooking the nade, but there's a swing from Wubs again and almost nearly gets him. You saw the nade indicator was red for a second there. If Wubs was any slower, that could have been another body on the defense falling. Versity has dropped the freezer hatch, but he'll lose the fight to the swinging Doc. Big Beezer has also been down. It's just true. He'll take out one. Does he know there's a player all the way towards prep? He spots the head, but can't connect the shots, and he has absolutely no idea Doc is still to his left by the bunker. Burnt Turkey, again, his team takes round number 4, and a lot of that, I feel like, just being down to the positioning of Doc, being able to win that fight inside of freezer.
Well, Crow, I hate to sound like a broken record on the Versity mistakes, but if you look at the positioning, the micro positioning of those last 3 attackers, you had one in Whiskey pushing out the mute, you had one dropping the freezer hatch, and you had another working their way towards small. That I get the Whiskey and the Red Hall players are definitely connected. They can play their trade, but you're going for a solo freezer drop without any vertical support or any double door support. That is an interesting decision, and one that definitely did not work out for them in round number 4. This attack is still looking disjointed, and on a map that you'd expect Versity to be so strong on. I do believe they have quite a history here on Cafe. This is pretty good for Team Burnt Turkey here. They are really showing that they've got this defense down. Of course, defense is not the hardest. Those are not the hardest wins to rack up, but the fact that it seems that they have Team Versity so perplexed at almost every turn is a really good sign, at least for the hopes of Team Burnt Turkey going forward.
Yeah, like you said, this used to be a really good map for Versity. In fact, when they were in like ESA and EPS, this was the Versity map. This was the map you brought them to if you wanted to lose. Versity even beat the legendary Joe Academy on this map. So,
wow,
they were certainly no slouches. Seems like, like you had mentioned, it seems like Team Burnt Turkey just has their number. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that's just the power of the turkey. They are going to be going for a second floor roam again, only this time the bomb site is on the opposite end of the building. Instead of being all the way downstairs, it is all the way upstairs in Bar Cocktail. So, this is another layer that Versity has to worry about, because it's not like a kitchen defense where you clear the top floor so you can do vert play, right? This, you need to clear the middle floor to deny any C4 presence. And with how long Versity has been taking and how down to the wire a lot of these rounds are getting, those C4s from below, if the defense continues to hold on to it, could be absolutely detrimental to this push.
Yeah, we're going to see Again, a lot of players on this roof just try, all of them in fact, that's four at least. They're going to slowly work
Well,
their methodical clear. Beezer's going to be sure to make sure he's weaker in the next battle by using that breaching charge right on his face. So again, the coordination and the little things seem to be not quite all clicking for Team Versity at the moment. You've got Blonde on the Twitch again. He's going to be droning up in bathroom. Upon realizing it's clear, they're going to open up that line of sight as well. But there's no freezer rotate. It's going to be a very hard freezer hold to actually clear out. You've got True on the Maverick going to look to actually open a rotate hole of his own, or at the very least, a line of sight onto that freezer to cocktail rotate. Beezer challenging on the White Hall at the same time. They're looking to get some sort of crossfire here, and Cal is going to get caught off guard from the long angle, and that's going to be one to hit the floor. Wub's going to get cut down as well. That's going to be Wi-Fi on the Nomad, delivering the Frost to the grave. Maniac, another one, and all of a sudden, it's a 2v5 for Versity, and things are looking up.
Much better attack from Versity, and at the same time, a significantly worse positioning from Team Burnt Turkey, as they've just been exposing themselves to pretty much every angle held by the attackers. However, Exum and Doc will strike back. One kill apiece, as Wi-Fi also takes some damage trying to flush Doc out from... what is that? I don't remember what's that called. I don't remember if that's B1 or B2. But speaking of whichever number he's playing behind, he gets one, and did he kill Maniac? I thought that was Exum shooting him in the back, and now it's a 1v1, but Blonde is better! Crouching around the long bar, he sees the head of Exum and hits the trigger just in time. Doc nearly single-handedly pulling that round back with a massive 3K behind the bar stand. Fortunately, being downed off by Maniac was just the straw that broke the camel's back, and Blonde creeping up was not expected by Exum. So, Versity, though it came very, very close, much closer than it should have. That was a 1v1 from a 4v2, if you remember correctly. But it is their second point. They do keep themselves within striking distance.
Yeah, they are not only within striking distance, they've guaranteed themselves that 4-2 split, and very well could go on for that 3-3 split. I mean, even though it did get really close in those closing moments with Doc pulling it back, that was a dominant early start for Versity. A complete 180 to what we've seen from most of their other attacks so far. All of their other attacks, at least before round number 5, were pseudo 20-second executes, you could say. They took their time, really. Either it was sitting in one spot or clearing out the rest of the map, but that time it was pretty swift piano control, swift bathroom control, and the angle that was utilized there, True, using the Surrey torch very well. They had the line of sight all the way to C1. That was a big pick, taking down Cal, and then the rest of the picks just followed. It was pretty well done there from Team Versity, and they're going to have to do so again on this top floor hold. This time, though, there is a bathroom rotate. So Team Burnt Turkey are changing things up just a little bit. You're going to have a mute right now playing in that bathroom, or at least using a couple of those mute jammers there, and they've established the line of sight using that deployable shield through that soft freezer wall. So a bit of a different hold here from Team Burnt Turkey, looking to counter the early long angle that Versity were able to establish without having to deal with much of a pixel presence at all.
Yeah, like you said, the fact that Versity, after that first pick, just kind of snowballed the rest of them. Not only was it that first kill onto, oh, who was it onto? I believe it was Cal, right? Through the Maverick pulls. Then you had Wubs playing the exact same position inside a freezer that has been. I mean, pretty much every time they defended this site, so they knew what to expect, and Wi-Fi beat him on that fight. And at the same time, you had someone repelling White to kill the White player. But Doc is going to knock Wi-Fi out. Unfortunately, the Nomad being the first pick is not great, as he just overextends into Pixel. I was going to say, the fact that he got a kill over towards Pixel there with no shield is pretty damn good. But he got a little bit, I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was being a little bit greedy, or he felt trapped and felt like he needed to push out, but either way, he'll lose his life, so it's an even trade. Now, sure, just speaking about utility, that's a better kill for the defense than it is for the attack, but the fact that the man count is still kept constant is a big boon for this push. For about a minute and a half left in this round now, and still the shield has not been dealt with, and if Wubs can stay here for long enough, again, he is the smoke, this can be huge for the defense.
Yeah, we're seeing Maniac try to get that early pressure here over from New Balk, trying to find Cal again, or Call rather, excuse me, but the Maestro is tucked away behind that reinforcement and Cocktail and is not going to be budging anytime soon.
Whoa,
The frag grenade is going to land right in front of Wubbs, but it will not do much damage at all. It's in fact the bullets from Maniac from the long box angle, which will do
again?
it. Kyle is
Hell.
going to fall to the very same angle that True is establishing from Bathroom, but this time it was at the hand of Team Burnt Turkey. They put the rotate there, so Call cannot be overexposing himself to that angle. A critical mistake from the man hoping to deny the plant, and the man wielding the Alda, the 81 bullets in the mag, to shut down any last second execute. And that's exactly where we are. We've got about 25 seconds left. Blonde is going to cut down Wubbs. It's going to be a 2v4. Now that Burnt Turkey's off the board, it's going to be all up to Exum. The plant going down. He's going to have to get quite aggressive here, but Beezer is going to shut it on down, and Versity go from seemingly no traction at all to building it back and taking that 3-3 split.
Yeah, it really seems like they've found their stride after that initial pick on the Jaeger. I mean, like you said, the fact that Kyle got caught out by the same exact angle twice in a row is super unfortunate. And after that, the attackers, I mean, they held a 4-3 lead. And not only that, but they had pretty much isolated all the defenders. One was on white, one was stuck inside a freezer. I believe the last one was over towards Cocktail. So that's essentially three different 1v1 engagements, depending on how you take it. And Versity took them perfectly. Not only was there really no fight back, but you still had Beezer posted on Heaven to watch for anyone over towards Cocktail and just wait for his teammates to push in. And I mean, Versity seem like they've got the momentum back on their side of the court. Of course, now we're switching sides. This is where the momentum could shift, depending on how Team Burnt Turkey take it. Of course, they'll be on the attack, and already we can see a drastically different philosophy being employed. Ace instead of Maverick, and instead of the Twitch/Jackal that Versity was having Blonde play, they've got Exum on the Iana, the man who is hard countered in that Ash ban.
Yeah, we saw Wi-Fi come out in the chat. No Ash, no kills. They'll be looking to shut down Exum for the remainder of this map and for the entirety of this second half. Choosing to do so by starting out on the more rarely played bomb site. This tertiary bomb site is going to be Fireplace Hall and Reading Room, and it's going to come down to that vertical hold. A lot of teams do like to head to this site earlier than possibly that final tertiary bomb site, deciding to go for the vertical hold that you would normally go on a bar and cocktail defense. But of course, it adds an extra step for the attackers. You not only have to take that vertical control, but then you actually have to jump down and pillar and actually get the site control going as well. So that's, I guess, the strategy of Versity here, looking to just stall out this attack and make Team Burnt Turkey just slow down as much as possible. We saw Cal almost miss, again, like a 3 breaching hammer swings there, Crow. So an interesting start to the round, but one that Team Burnt Turkey are looking to get going, and you've got Maniac, the first player to really be contesting that position.
Well, Exum able to get his Gemini over towards Cocktail and confirm the fact that there is nobody inside of Freezer. Pretty much the only guy in the top floor, and the only two are the ones over towards Pixel and the one all the way back in Cocktail. So, step number one for this attack, take out this guy Pixel. Maniac has the shield. He's got actually all 3 of his ADSs to play with, curiously enough. So it might be a little bit of a task, but if he keeps playing aggressively, then all we need is a wayward bullet. That'll be the pressure forfeited to the attackers. Now here's Doc. He's going to try and burn away those ADSs. All right. There we go. That's all 3 of them, and thus the shield falls as well. So, I mean, decent time management, but the fact that he not only used all of his utility, but then also died, that's a win for the defense. Minute 10 left on the clock. Now, I mean, normally if you're the attack, you come away with that pick into Pixel, but it's actually going to be the pick down inside a pillar? I have no idea how Burnt Turkey and the rest of his team actually got there since we were so distracted with that Pixel push, but it'll actually net them a kill. These are now dead. No more C4, so at this point, you know, Zophia's done her job. Mute's already put his utility down. This isn't the worst situation for both these teams, but because Blonde has been left unchecked inside of Cocktail for whatever reason, he can just peek Pillar for free. Down goes Exum, and now it's a man advantage for the defense. Only 38 seconds left. No wall open either, I don't believe, unless I'm just deaf and I didn't hear those ace charges. That's a good pick by Burnt Turkey. He spots the Jaeger, and the Jaeger does not fire back, and now he's able to actually punch his way all the way into the bomb site. It's completely evacuated by the defense. Kyle is also just deep inside of dining. What is this? Burnt Turkey gets another kill onto Wi-Fi, and the plant is going down, and there's nothing the defenders can do about it. Blonde is going to eat a ton of damage as True drops Kyle on the floor. Now it's a post-plant. Wubbs is still inside the site, but he's taken out by True. Now it's all up to Burnt Turkey. He's stuck inside of Reading. This could be an easy pinch for the last two defenders, but of course Blonde has to be careful as the other defender actually hits an air jab trying to go into dining. Burnt Turkey will actually evacuate Laundry, interestingly enough, but True will finish off his teammates, so no more free intel on the inside of the bomb site where the diffuser is. Here comes the denial, and there's nothing that Burnt Turkey can do except peek around, and the Valkyrie doesn't lift off. True with a massive misplay, and as he peeks around, Blonde is cut down. It's an ace for Burnt Turkey himself. The power of the Nomad, and somehow, some way, his team still clutches that up.
That was a very confusing round. I mean, the push from the attackers was oddly disjointed early on. You saw the pixel push that was very unsuccessful, the vertical pressure that was completely ignored, but then all of a sudden they were on the bomb site, they got their frags, and they got the diffuser down in Fireplace Hall. It seemingly came out of nowhere, but the play from Burnt Turkey, just finding all 5 frags, and admittedly a little bit of a misplay there from the Valkyrie in the closing moments, that is going to give Team Burnt Turkey the round. That is well done in the face of the tomfoolery that was unfolding in that round, but I guess it's enough to scare Team Versity off of that bomb site, heading downstairs to kitchen now.
That was something. What I'm a little bit confused by is why True opted to stick. He heard the shots coming from the Nomad, under the wall, and knew that, I mean, the only other place you can get shot from is the open rotate by White, which is of course what Burnt Turkey used. True is, I mean, you can see his entire body. He's fully exposed to that angle, and yet he just sat there on the diffuser. And unfortunately for Blonde, he had 1 HP. He's probably not winning that fight. So Burnt Turkey was just better, as we all know him to be. But Doc is
Okay.
So that's a little bit of the blue on blue. Maybe that Ash man getting to Exum more than we thought.
Yeah, he can't get frags when he's not on Ash, apparently, so he's going to resort to killing his own team to get those frags. We can see that Exum didn't get any kills in the last round because Burnt Turkey was able to find all of them. So I guess the rage coming out there very quickly in round number 8, really not waiting any longer to make that one happen. But they're going to have to get aggressive on this top floor clear because you've got Blonde, who is persisting on the Vigil, just hoping to stall out as much time as possible before eventually rotating back down to the site. You've got the Repel coming out from Wubbs, hoping to cut off the rotate from Blonde, but he is already down on that first floor, and he is comfortably back down to the site. But the over-aggression from Wi-Fi and the a million IQ from Kyle is going to net the kill. Then the run out from True, the jump out, the SMG-11 is going to find the head of the ace. That is another massive pick and adds to the mounting tomfoolery that I think we are going to be seeing for the rest of this game, Crow. You lost your ace. Now, you don't have any other hard breach. You've got 4 frag grenades and some air jabs, but how much is that really going to get you on this first floor attack?
Well, that was an awkward scuffle. Very, caused by some pretty massive aggression from both sides. Of course, we still have the team kill from earlier, so instead of even man count, it's Versity at a +1, but as I say that, Burnt Turkey pushes down Brown. Catches Beezer. He sees that little melee hole or the bullet holes that he was playing inside of Whiskey, and down goes the Kite. Now we're down to 3v3. The lead that Versity had from earlier has now slipped away, and now Blonde is going to get caught out inside of VIP. Not only does he have a man pushing from white, but he's also got one into restaurant. Burnt Turkey swings around and actually kills the supporting player and gets the player in VIP as well. Burnt Turkey going absolutely massive in this map. Just like that, snap of the fingers, it's Maniac. 1 versus 3. Now, he does have upstairs, but without the ability to make pulls himself, and really without much intel inside of the site, there's really no one with cams. What is he going to be able to do? He's going to try and flank around towards Carpet. The Sledge, I think, just saw him, though, and as Maniac peeks out, Kyle will take his head off. Team Burnt Turkey, again, from the jaws of defeat, are able to rip away round number 8 and even further solidify their lead.
That was another banger of a round, let's call it. You had a team kill early on, then a couple of aggressive plays and some runouts from Versity resulted in the loss of your sole hard breacher. You've lost your Zofia, you've lost your Ace, and it's a 3v5 or 3v4 at that point. And by some miracle, the attacker still managed to win the round. That is not how it was supposed to go. Of course, Blonde got caught out in VIP. There was nothing much he could do, so I'm not going to fault his micro positioning at the end of the day. But the other two teammates, it was Maniac, the Jaeger, and it was there was one more player. There's a mute, I think, was on the board. It was Beezer, who swung out to support the player in Whiskey. It was a mess. It was a complete mess. You can't be overcommitting like that when the attackers have no utility left. It had to be a double door push or a prep push. They had to walk through what we call fatal funnels. There was no way that the attacking team there, Team Burnt Turkey, was going to be able to open up a wall. There was no way they could get really fancy crossfires going. It would have to be 3 players walking in through the main door or the prep door. That is the only way that the attackers could have won that round. Why not play that more passively, Team Versity? You have so much time to work with. It's almost a free round, and somehow it gets thrown away. Of course, you want to support Blonde in VIP. Maybe a player swung out to support the teammate, but at some point, you've got to realize that the Vigil was dead at that point. It was simply just be in VIP as long as you can, delay as much time as you can, and that's going to be 2 rounds in a row on attack for Team Burnt Turkey. Good stuff from them so far.
Yeah, and I actually have a pretty interesting update from today's games. My good friend Kyle Cherish Fernandez just texted the group chat and said, Synthetic beat Honor 7-2
Oh my goodness.
on Cafe.
That's a big
4-2
deal.
defense and a 3-0 attack. So the team previously known as DVX, Poison, with his patented roaming smoke, was able to take down a team of Challenger League players. Now, if that ain't something, I don't know what it is. That is a huge win for Synthetic, keeping themselves lossless and actually putting Honor down a bracket. So, good job to them. As now, back to this match. We've got Maniac. Again, inside a Pixel. He's got a shield on pallets to cover his white window. That is definitely an interesting allocation from Versity, I guess. Usually you'd see that shield either in Cocktail or in the middle of Freezer, or even towards back Freezer to try and cover the player there. But I guess not. I guess they want to cover him from white instead. And I mean, they lose Pixel anyway, and he gets naded out of Freezer in the end. So, first pick goes the way of Burnt Turkey.
Yeah, the first pick finding its way onto the board just around that 60-second mark. So Team Versity here are still in a strong position. They're going to take down Burnt Turkey himself as well. So that's Wi-Fi bringing things back for the defense. Wubbs is going to get a kill onto True, and this attack is really continuing to mount. Versity is being forced to back on off. Blonde is stuck in the Freezer, and goodbye Beezer as well. The C4 from Wi-Fi finally going to cut down one, but it's going to be a 3v2 in these closing moments, and Cocktail control is nowhere to be found for Versity. Doesn't matter for Blonde. He's going to cut down Doc, and the plant is now going down. Exum on the coverage is looking for his second kill in this attacking half. The Valkyrie's going to sprint challenge and is going to get cut down, and Kyle will finish it off onto Blonde. Team Burnt Turkey, another attacking round.
That looked like, from Versity, it looked like they wanted to do a retake strategy, but didn't really play for it. Like, the way they were set up, right? They barely had anyone in sight. Maniac died. Blonde was kind of hugging, like, the corner of Freezer. And you had True and Beezer doing, sorry, Wi-Fi and Beezer doing whatever it was they were doing. Exum is somehow just inside of Cocktail. God knows how he got there. While Wubs on the ace pushes up and kills, I think it was True. I mean, it's Wi-Fi, Blonde, and Beezer. Wi-Fi and Beezer both have C4, but instead of playing for it, which Wi-Fi eventually did and got the first planter, Beezer keeps challenging Cocktail from pallets and dies. I'm not quite sure why he didn't play for the C4, because it seemed as if they had intel, which is why Wi-Fi was able to get that kill from below. The fact that Beezer didn't play for his utility, of course, Blonde, you had get a kill of his own, but unfortunately, just because of the situation they were in, because they had no more plant denial, they were in a post plant, and they were forced to swing, and Exum and Kal just had each other's backs. So I was definitely a little bit curious from Versity, and that round loss is going to put Team Burnt Turkey on map and match point. They're up 6-3. Versity need a perfect site rotation if they want to stay in this game, and that's something that they have not been able to accomplish at all.
Well, Crow, as we get into match point, actually one question did pop in my mind, and honestly, how is that tortellini, sir?
Oh, I finished it.
Was it good?
Of course. It's always good. I had it with
Nice.
Alfredo sauce. I think it was the equivalent of like 3 servings. It was a really big bowl.
That's perfect amount. I mean, you gotta really shove that tortellini in there. I mean, that's definitely the play.
That's true.
But
I do love tortellini.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But we're gonna have to see how Versity can cook up. Well, not some tortellini, but some equally good stuff here on potentially what is now map point for this team. It's a best of 1, of course, so it's essentially series point as well. Versity need to start to lock down these bomb sites. They're gonna start to do so by at least attempting this tertiary bomb site, we'd call it, but for Versity, it seems to be their primary site of choice. And right now, it's gonna look good. That's a brilliant shot there from True. That is gonna take down Burnt Turkey, the top frag with 12 kills, not able to add to that tally here on match point. A huge pick for the Valkyrie and Pillar. Now things could be looking up here for Versity.
That was an incredible shot. Austin, aka Burnt Turkey, got certifiably schlammed. So, good night. No more Nomad. And I'm also getting word in Twitch chat from my fellow Chinaman of Breeze2K that Rice dropped 0 kills in their win, and Poison actually got 43. So eat up Callum.
Oh, no.
As True is able to take out 1, and look at that! Exum! Another
2
one.
for 2. He's 2 for 2.
He's 2 for 2 on shooting at his teammates. So unfortunately, what could be a 3 versus 5 is going to be already, a 3 versus 5, already a pretty difficult situation, is now going to be made even worse. 2 versus 5. Doc is upstairs, alone, so he's going to die with pretty much no recourse. Now it's just Exum. Sure, he gets 1. Beezer goes down. Got 4 more to find and 40 seconds to do it. At least there's another kill. Wi-Fi goes down. Exum has site control as well as the diffuser, but he's only 25 HP. There's a nade to try and cover his tracks and prevent Maniac from pushing, which Maniac will do anyway. He'll take the damage and shrug it off. Exum now very paranoid of all the possible entryways the defenders still have. He's got a yellow ping onto someone. That's a great pre-fire. A triple kill now for the Iana. He'll resume the plant once more, but he's only got 15 seconds left. He can only bait out so much time. There's another defender coming in through reading that could easily use these floor holes. Actually, no, I was wrong. I'm not sure where that defender was. Maniac pushes up on the white wall, but unfortunately Exum, he lifts off the plant. He can't get the kill. He's got no time. Versity, They do not let round 10 slip away. If that was a 1v5 clutched up by this Iana, I can certifiably say Versity would not only, lose the map, but their mental would probably be chalked going into future matches. So luckily, able to keep that round intact and keep themselves alive on Cafe.
Yeah, that's going to be a crucial round for them. Of course, I wouldn't say the momentum is fully back in their hands, but finally, the absolute dominance that Team Burnt Turkey have been showcasing has at least found its stalling point. A team kill obviously assisted that. Exum, 2 team kills, but also 11
Incredible.
total kills on the series. So he's at a nice 13, technically the top frag right now, although Burnt Turkey holds that top spot on the scoreboard. But things are looking good for both of these teams. That round, it almost did come down to that clutch. Honestly, I loved the bait that Exum tried to do. He threw down the nade on the bottom of White Stairs, knowing the Jaeger was there, went for the plant, thinking that the Jaeger would then have to run in to stop it, and it almost worked. Maniac challenged and realized his mistake, so he turned around, only took a little bit of damage. Definitely a saving point in the round, but Team Versity pulled it out nonetheless. It's going to be still match point. They're going to have to find 2 rounds in a row, and on this basement or first floor bomb site, rather, we're going to have to see how they lock this down. Last time, what characterized it was a bit of over-aggression from Versity despite having the upper hand early on. If they can gain that advantage, that pretty substantial advantage of taking out the lone hard breacher and the Zofia very early on, things could be looking up for them as long as they don't throw it away like they did last time.
We've got another bracket update for you. A team known as Aquatic beat another team known as the St. Louis Leviathans 7-4 in a 4 versus 5.
Yeah.
The entire game. So if you're St. Louis Leviathans, I think there's some stuff you gotta rethink. Meanwhile, some of the more notable teams, we got Didn't Ask 7-3ing Lulls. Survey Corps handing Revenge Nation their first loss, 7-2 victory there as Kal just destroys Wi-Fi on that peak. Neo giving the first loss to Something to Prove, 7-2. And the Gatekeepers taking down Aggro. A little bit of revenge there. So, those are most of the notable names. Now, taking a loss, I think Project Neo, the winner of this game in Synthetic, I think, are so far the only teams that are still lossless that have actually finished their games. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember fully. But it's still... No refrag has been found from Team Burnt Turkey just yet. Alright. Never mind. I'll shut up. Blonde is going to be able to take out Exum. Down goes the Iana. However, that may have been a kill working against the defenses. Now, they take away Exum's ability to team kill.
Well, it's going to, again, come down to this remainder of this push, at least. You still have True. He is going to be playing in Train Room all alone. He's got the SMG-11, of course, to make things a bit easier for him, but Burnt Turkey seems to be fully aware of his position, and as long as there's 2 attackers on this push, True is as good as dead. No teammate can really support. You've got Beezer from below, but that's not going to do much. True's going to have the line of sight there in a questionable gunfight, but
all right.
it'll be Burnt Turkey who ends up winning it out. It's going to be a 3v4 with Versity fighting for their map lives here with that man disadvantage. You've got Burnt Turkey adding to his tally, 13 kills now, and Blonde is going to be forced to challenge on this remainder of this Whitehall push, but this time making the smart decision. He's going to rotate away back to site, not opting to get caught out in VIP like last time.
30 seconds left, and I'm very glad that Blonde is able to save himself from that eventual pinch. And Beezer, there we go. There's the C4 kill we need. C4 effectively a freebie. We'll take down Kal. Now, no more sledge, no more nades either, but they know there's a man inside of Kochak. Great pop flash, but no! Through the flash, it's Maniac. Blinded is going to take him out. Doc falls as well. Wubs with 1 refrag, but Blonde finishes him off. Versity take round number 11 in the 3v3 as the attackers push in and just lose their fights.
That one kind of was the flip of the previous kitchen round we saw from Versity, where they had the advantage and threw it away. This time, it was a little bit back and forth, but Team Burnt Turkey, they really had all the pressure they needed. They had Whitehall control. They could have opened up the freezer wall, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple of some ill-timed swings and the unfortunate pop flash incident that you mentioned there, Crow, is going to give Team Versity the win. So that's going to be their 5th round, and now they've taken down that deficit to just 1. It's 6-5, still match point, of course, but Team Versity are 1 victory away from sending this one to overtime and keeping things spicy here. Now, Crow, you mentioned some of those notable names, those wins in the quals, but I do want to mention one more. Aerial Arise, who's been honestly on the struggle bus over the last few weeks, has been on the struggle bus in the open quals as well. They lost 2 out of their first 3 games, but on their first round of day 2, they were able to take down the current Akara Gaming. So that was a 7-3. So Aerial Arise will now be sitting around the middle of the pack, 27th place. They've got about 2 wins under their belt now. One of those losses actually was delivered by Team Burnt Turkey, so that's going to tie it back to this one. Interesting that the current Akara was not able to take down Aerial Arise, but the old one, they were.
Interesting. I also heard that apparently Team Burnt Turkey do have an org lined up.
Oh.
You just don't know who it is. So definitely excited for when that announcement comes out. Of course, I do love my boy Burnt Turkey, as well as Kal, another fantastic player. Versity have started to close the gap. Remember, we said they would need a perfect site rotation to bring us to OT, and they've got 2 out of 3 of those rounds. They need only to win bar. We go to overtime. Team Burnt Turkey don't get the win that they were looking for, at least not yet. I'll be going for your standard clear over towards red, opening the red wall and taking piano control, and first things first, picking up Pixel. This time, instead of Maniac on the Jaeger playing behind it, it's Blonde on the Frost. This is something that we saw a lot from Team Burnt Turkey, namely from Wubs, but I believe this is the first time that Versity are bringing her out. Wow.
Yeah, oh my.
Wi-Fi actually just killed that guy. All right.
Oh my. Okay, the MPX finds its target. That's Wi-Fi making it happen here. So Versity, again, looking up. Blonde, he's going to get forced on out, narrowly escaping that fate delivered by this white stairs window, as Maniac seems to be aware of that position. And Blonde is actually going to retake Pixel. He's going to continue to contest this now that Maniac has, at least for the time being, locked off that white stairs window pressure, and it's going to be a push here from Burnt Turkey. He's going to get quite aggressive on this deployable. He's going to make sure that those ADSs can't remove that air jab, but Exum, that is amazing to see. The Frost Mat has worked, and Exum is now down. Should be able to be revived, but he'll have to enter the next fight with only about 20 HP to his name. So the Frost Mats are actually doing their due diligence in this round, and it's going to come down to this remaining execute now as Wi-Fi is taking up Shaiko. He's going to rain a C4 on down, but it's only going to be a bait for that plant, just looking to expend all of that plant denial utility before the actual execute comes in.
Yeah, they do still have 1 C4, and speaking of, he gets 2 kills! Not only does he get Wubs, the primary planter, but the low HP Exum as well. Burnt Turkey does not spot the prone player, but there's the reaction. He's able to take out Blonde, but quickly traded out and killed by the player by Pallets. Cal able to get 1 refrag, but it's not enough as Maniac kills him as well. And Versity, lockout round number 12, down 3-6. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to overtime.
This is awesome to see this one go all the way. We've had some pretty enticing early open qual matches, but this one is, well, it's living up to its name here. We're in round number 4, and we're at the top of this group. We're at the top of these teams, and, well, these 2 teams are looking to scrap it out even further. They're looking to keep this one close, and Versity, they've made an impressive 3 rounds in a row, I believe, Crow. A comeback that is, well, hasn't really been rivaled by much on the side of Team Burnt Turkey. They found so much early attacking success. It was 3 rounds in a row from them on attack, and then on the other side of the coin, it was 3 rounds in a row from Team Versity. Which Versity and which Team Burnt Turkey are we going to see here? on overtime. It is, of course, Versity on defense, and, well, I guess you can't really argue that they've got the defensive momentum with 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, so far it's pretty much squarely in their corner, and like you said, because there's no swap, because they start defense in OT, they can pretty much just keep this ball rolling. Seems to be a pretty similar defense. Same operators, even the Frost. Though, now that, Team Burnt Turkey know that they're bringing said Frost, those traps may not be as successful. I believe that's where he had one last time. He had one under that window, one by the minibar, and one behind the cigar counter. Oh, okay. Looks like he's going to make an adjustment and not put them in the same spots. You love to see it. Let me just see where he puts the other 2. If ever, as we're already, into the round, the attackers will be pressuring the building soon. It's going to be pretty unsafe to put down your frost mats anywhere near where the attackers are pushing. Oh, he'll put one under the bathroom rotate.
I love that one right there.
That's interesting. So I wonder if their plan right now is to not hold on to Pixel and bathroom that heavily, but Wi-Fi. Sheesh. Overtime. First round of overtime is going to spawn peek the sledge. That's unfortunate for Kyle.
That is not the way that Team Burnt Turkey wanted to start. That is going to even more solidify the momentum that Versity have going into overtime, and they're going to have the momentum at least in round number 13. Got Burnt Turkey, who is searching for an answer for his lost comrade. The sledge will no longer be that factor, but no answer has been found quite yet. There isn't much in the way of this second floor hold. You do have, I believe that's Beezer. Is he in reading room just kind of ratting around in there? He's going to be looking to possibly catch somebody off guard. It is Beezer. He's been droned out. Of course, got some mute jammer to support him, and you've got Maniac on the white stairs, and you've got Wi-Fi on the red stairs. So it's going to be quite actually a very strong defensive hold of the second floor. The question is, how much time, if any, does Team Burnt Turkey allocate to dealing with this? Because right now, their attacking pressure is very split. You only have one player. That's just Burnt Turkey, the player to contest this second floor hold. But the one thing that's neglected by Versity could be the site itself. There's no cocktail presence right now. You only have Blonde up in freezer, True in bathroom, and finally the rotate comes in now with a minute to go, with Burnt Turkey finding one. That's going to keep things nice and dicey for this 1 minute execute.
That's also a C4 operator on the board, and Beezer's down as well. These are 2 players who made a massive impact in the last round without utility. But Blonde left unchecked inside a freezer. He takes out Exum as he tries to push up the long bar, and now spotted by Doc, but the gas canisters are keeping these attackers at bay. Wubs, again the primary planter, trying to sneak in over by the B1 default. He's watching over towards bathroom. He spots the head of the smoke, but he can't land the shot on a True. I could have sworn that was a headshot, but Doc is taken out by Maniac. Here's a white stairs flanked by Burnt Turkey, though. He could take some players out, but it's just him now as Wubs goes down. He spots one inside a bathroom, but unfortunately can't react in time. They now know exactly where he is. Free Fire does find Maniac, pistol out, needs to kill this player in Heaven, but the Heaven player knows he can play passive. He just needs to waste time. He's very low on HP, but he wins the fight against Burnt Turkey and Versity. They keep their momentum 4 rounds in a row, and now they come back and put themselves on map point.
Honestly, that was a really good defense there from Versity. It was really interesting to see how much utility and manpower they devoted to that second floor hold. Of course, you just had one player really stuck and actually trapped in reading room. Of course, there was mute jammers to support that position, but what they did brilliantly there was put the attackers in a position where they had to make a very swift decision, and if they wasted their time, that was going to penalize them hugely, and it did. We saw Burnt Turkey. He had tunnel vision on the reading room player, so much so that the rest of the attack was also stalling out on the piano side. They were, of course, slowly getting down their checklists, but they weren't going for an execute. They were simply trying to establish a couple more lines of sight, get as much intel as possible. But if they had properly droned out the site at around that minute 30, minute 45 mark, right where they were honestly potentially in position for an execute, there was very little, if any, on-site pressure by the defense at that point. It was pretty much neglected because there was a Jaeger on the red stairs. There was or the white stairs rather. There was a Valkyrie on the red stairs, all focusing on that second floor hold. And because of that, the site was left quite vulnerable. But Team Burnt Turkey, they did not realize that, and it penalized them at the end of the day. So Versity now, overtime match point, they could win this right here with a strong attack.
Burnt Turkey 16-9, followed very closely behind by Blonde. Both of those players putting up absolutely tremendous numbers right now, with Exum and Maniac tied at 11 apiece. Everyone else in the lobby around the same numbers. That's kind of what you like to see. It's a close game. Sure, you have your standout performers, but you don't have that one guy in the lobby who's really lagging behind either. I mean, sure, Cal only 6 kills, but I mean, he's only 1 behind Beezer. There's only 1 behind True and Wi-Fi. So everyone on the scoreboard really putting up numbers, which is always cool to see. We don't have to, rag on anyone for not dropping any kills, like on Ash. Skins. Sorry, it's only caught in my throat. Kyle, though, great first pick. Down goes Wi-Fi, down goes the Nomad and one of those roam clearers, and not only have you wasted a minute, but you got a kill actually outside, maybe on the dining rappel. And that is the way you want to start things off and try and get that momentum back in your favor.
Yeah, we've got Wubs. He goes for the C4, and it's not going to connect onto either True or Maniac. Blonde is going to equalize the man count by cutting down the vigil of Call, and that is going to be a pretty good turn of events for this attacking team. Not only has Wubs wasted 1 C4, but you've taken out that pesky roamer who you're nervous about coming up on your flank at all times. You still have Exum to deal with, who's on this slight first floor extension on the red stairs, and at any time could rotate around for a possible late flank. These are the player to initially contest this, or at least hold this long angle, just stalling out the time while True finishes up the Maverick trick. It's going to be successful at about the minute 15 mark, and that is going to allow the sledge to open up that freezer side. So a very strong freezer take could come in here. You're crossing that 60-second mark. The attackers have made quite a bit of progress. You've got the long angles established. You've got the flashes pouring on in from Blonde, and an execute is surely underway. Burnt Turkey cutting down 1. Doc, a quick follow-up onto Maniac. That's going to leave True and Blonde all alone. Things have all of a sudden crumbled on down for Versity. Blonde going to answer it back, finding Burnt Turkey, but it's still going to be a 2v3. You do have ample time to work with, but Blonde is going to be the only player left to do it. He's got 17 kills, and he's going to have to find the 20 bomb to win this round out. But the Wubs and the crossfires now being established, and the flank is going to make this nearly impossible. Doc not able to find the shots, but Exum will do so. And Team Burnt Turkey will not only win round 14, they will take us to round 15, the final round of map number 1 and the series.
Maximum overtime. What a way to end our very first series of the day. No, it is not infinite OT. If we have an infinite OT for quals, I mean, we would be here all freaking day. Versity will opt to go to Reading Room Fireplace. Okay, thank you, Henry. This is a site they've been fairly successful on. However, they did have that one loss when it was just Maniac stuck in a 1v3 upstairs. So, wait, was this the site that Burnt Turkey got the ace on?
You got the ace
It
attacking
was.
Reading, yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess if you're Versity, step 1 is kill Burnt Turkey. Make sure he can't ace against you again.
Yeah, that's going to be an important one. On the Nomad, again, seems to be the staple Burnt Turkey operator for this map. It's going to be interesting to see what he can put down, but again, it's going to come down to this top-down clear. Last time this round was interesting to follow, hard to follow, rather. You had some players pushing Pillar, some players pushing Fireplace, and some attackers clearing out that cocktail extension. So you had the attacking pressure was split all over the place, and it actually worked out quite well. The plant was able to go down, and Burnt Turkey, well, he excels always in those post-plant situations. True is looking to get some more intel, but of course that camera's not going to be much help. That one will. He's going to throw it out onto the AC unit there, and that'll at least give them some information about those repels on that ticket side. But Blonde, he's going to be the player looking to add to that 17 kill mark on this top floor extension. The first fragger that Team Burnt Turkey are going to have to clear out on their attack.
And it's, of course, going to, or at least looking like top down, as that's just how you take this site. Like you said last time, the attackers were really spread out. It was a bit erratic, and they decided that their eventual site that they wanted to go for was dining. Not the most common one. Start to drone in with not only drones, but the Iana Gemini as well before it gets shot all the way down long. And again, they have this pixel presence from Maniac as well. They're only 11 and 9, so, taking him out is certainly going to be a tussle, to say the least. But again, very light presence upstairs from Versity. It's just him, as well as Blonde to support. Two top fraggers on the board for the defense. Burnt Turkey, though, already made his way down into Pillar. Now, he doesn't have a kill for it, but he's already there. And these attacks have really quickly shifted from the top-down clear to just horizontal and mining and Pillar.
Well, the flashes are going to come through. Exum now tossing a frag grenade, but it's actually going to land at his feet. He's going to narrowly escape that one, so that's a big moment to avoid, and he's not going to avoid the shots from Blonde, though. Blonde not quite able to finish off. That could have been a massive pick. Now, Exum, with what life he has left, going to use the Gemini drone to figure out as much intel as possible going into this execute. But once again, you see that this attack is kind of split, but mostly focused on this reading room side. It could potentially go for another of those fireplace hall takes, but with Blonde finding Doc and cutting down the Zofia, at least that's going to make the reading room push even harder. Wubs, not much in the way of drone utility, and he's actually going to be cut down. Burnt Turkey, he's going to take down Maniac before that kill could be finished off, but a brutal place to be dropped on down. Wubs is definitely, he could be picked up here, but a precarious position nonetheless.
True will get taken out by Exum, though, as sort of a premature refrag as Wubs. I don't think they're going for the revive. Instead, Exum's just going to push in. Down goes Wi-Fi, and Wubs is actually rezzed. It's just Blonde and Beezer. They've thrown away their advantage. The plant is going down. They're at least able to take out one inside of 90. Blonde's still up as well. Exum low HP. Beezer worried about the crossfire, and he goes down to Cal. Blonde from the white stairs. Down goes the low HP Exum, but the plant is complete, and he's got two bodies to find. Kal and Burnt Turkey. Pistol out. He sees one inside the train. He actually gets that kill. Blonde is going insane. He's got three. He needs to find the last one. I'm not quite sure why he's not using the primary, but he'll rely on the RG-15. He'll try and go for the disable. I'm not quite sure where Burnt Turkey is. He might be able to come down white. In fact, he'll drop into laundry. 13 seconds left. Blonde actually gets off of it. He's going to have to try and challenge it, but Burnt Turkey's wasting the time away. It's 7 seconds. There it is. It doesn't matter that he got the kill. It's a quad for Blonde, but it's a Pyrrhic victory. Off time, Team Burnt Turkey will not only take the round, but they take the map 8-7, round 15, and they will remain lossless.
What an ending to an incredible game. Blonde finding 4 kills, but it simply did not matter. Chrome, I honestly think if he stuck that defuse, he might have been able to get it off.
Yeah.
Maybe. Of course, hindsight 2020, but Burnt Turkey was, I don't know. I really don't know. It would have had to been like the first few bullets, I think, from the Nomad. It would have had to been a very, very accurate shot, but
Blonde
that was a
21.
dicey ending. A dicey ending, but honestly a great way to end our first game of the night.
Yeah, Blonde dropping 21 kills on Cafe. What a stellar performance from him, but unfortunately it just was not enough. Of course, the titular Burnt Turkey top fragging for his team, I think with 19, I believe, at the end of that game. So huge numbers from him as well. Burnt Turkey, of course, I always tout him as being, despite being such an insane fragger, he's always on these roles like Nomad, Wamai, kind of like the more passive, like flank watch, secondary support kind of stuff, and still ends up dropping double digits. And he's a very patient player, a very smart player. He knew not to overextend. If he stayed on white, he's still within striking distance. Fortunately for him as well, Cal and just the rest of his team, because Blonde had to pick them off one by one, wasted enough time that Burnt Turkey could play that as passive as he did. If there were any more time on the clock, I agree with you. I think Burnt Turkey played that too passively, but just because I mean, Blonde was just so pressed for it. Burnt Turkey knew that just the sound cue of him dropping the hatch was enough to force Blonde off. Blonde went hunting for the kill because he had no choice. Burnt Turkey opted just not to peek. I mean, sure, he lost the fight, but at that point, we were already sub 7 seconds on that diffuser. So congratulations to Team Burnt Turkey for remaining one of our only lossless teams. And they'll be joined by, I believe, Synthetic and yeah,
Didn't ask.
Synthetic, Didn't Ask, and Neo.
Yeah,
So,
the quite a couple of top teams there. Synthetic, again, we highlighted it early on. They were able to take down Honor Esports
yeah.
7-2. I think it's worth highlighting again because that is impressive stuff. That is a Challenger League roster. Again, to remind everyone, Honor Esports, Challenger League team. A T3 team, Synthetic, pouring on a decisive victory. That's good stuff for them. And of course, you said, and as we just witnessed, Team Burnt Turkey will join them, or as they prefer to be called, not your something waifus. Who knows what they want to be called? But
your waifu is trash.
Your waifu is trash. Who even knows? But no, it was a really good game, and I think a lot of good games took place all across round number 4. We highlighted the Gatekeepers as well, who were able to take down Aggro. They sit around 12th place with 6 points. You get 2 points per win. You've got Revenge Nation, who have also looked very strong so far. They're also sitting at 6 points. A loss, unfortunately, for them to Survey Corps. A 7-2 loss delivered there as well. So things...
Ooh.
Yeah.
I saw Matt Squared also suffering another loss.
Ooh.
This time to It Worked. So, great job to them. Who's on It Worked? I know some of their players. Okay, that's Wingman, Shiba, and Doxy. Shiba actually being a personal friend of mine. Shout out to Brandon. Wow. So we've had a few upsets so far. We are still waiting for how many games to finish. Oh, we're only waiting for 1. It's just Voltage and Nemesis, I think, are the last teams to finish up their games. So as soon as that's done, we can have a second game. Which would be between, let's see, it would be between the undefeated teams. It would be between Versity, Neo, Didn't Ask, and Synthetic. So I imagine we'd be picking up one of those games.
Not Versity. You gotta remember, Team Burnt Turkey.
Oh, Team Burnt Turkey. That's what it was. Team Burnt Turkey, Neo, Didn't Ask, and Synthetic Esports. So we've already done the other 3. We haven't done Didn't Ask yet on the mainstream, I don't think. So we'll probably take whatever game Didn't Ask is on, I assume. But we are going to take a quick break while we wait for this final match to finish up and while we actually get our next game to be on stream. But thank you all for watching. That was certainly a great start. Hopefully we have just as bang of a middle and end. So don't go anywhere. Stick around, as we will be back with match number 2 just after this short break.